So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey everyone, it's a new episode of Basehall Hong Kong. New week, sunny week, hopefully, by the time you're listening to this. We're coming out of it. We're having blue skies now, Vivek.
Oddly enough,
I'm sitting
man.
here with my buddy, my best friend,
Yes.
my close family member.
I have to be now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vivek Mabubani, if he hasn't pronounced my name correctly yet, but
Yeah.
he just said my first name because he's like, the second name's not family.
Nah, yeah, it's not.
Let's reveal that. No, but blue skies, everything's good. We've had the beer Better with Beer Hong Kong thing.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun.
that was fun as
That was
well.
really fun.
Basically, free flow beer for 4 hours?
Yeah.
And then, oddly enough, the crowd after 3 hours of drinking were still on board.
Yeah, well, they did it really smart, right? Because they had 2 sessions on the Saturday when we were performing, but
Yeah.
they had a break in the middle when they kicked everyone out.
Ah.
Obviously, people can still drink outside, but it's kind of like, like a mental break almost from drinking free flow beer.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people, because they paid an expensive ticket, they're like, oh, we're not going to drink, we're not going to pay money outside. So let's take a break and eat something or whatever.
Yeah,
so I think that was their initial thought.
Oddly enough, yeah, on paper, we were all worried, but when it really happened, we were like,
Yeah.
this is a great show. What is going on over here?
Yeah, and
so
for
anyway,
the evening session when you performed,
Yeah.
we were really worried because that's like the last few hours
drunkest
the
of drunks, yeah.
Yeah, the drunkest, but we had zero heckling.
Yeah.
It was, and for the evening session, you were closing it. You did a fantastic job, but also everyone, it sounded like a comedy club almost. It was just
Yeah.
complete silent.
Yeah.
Like people were listening.
Yeah.
And we had a great time.
Yeah.
And some of the listeners were there. I said hi to a few of them. Mo, my buddy, he's a pilot in an airlines that I can't say. It's the only airlines we have, so,
Yeah.
but I can't say it. But he was there. He was watching the show, and Egyptian guy actually grew up in New Zealand. Shout out to Mo, and we had a great time.
Well, there we go. We've concluded that. What is better with beer in Hong Kong? Comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully what else is better with beer is this podcast.
This podcast is great with beer. If you want to pause this right now and grab your beer in the evening, if you're listening in their office and you're like, oh yeah, these guys are onto a good thing, just pause right now.
Yeah.
Wait for your beer in the evening on the Monday evening after dinner. But also continuing the habit of me fucking up my relationship, like my work relationships. Better with Beer was run by the Clockenflap guys.
Yes.
Right? A couple of days after the beer festival finished, Clockenflap announced the lineup. Did you see the lineup?
Oh, yeah. So it's huge, right?
It's huge. Do you know? So there is I'm showing you right now, the main post for Clockenflap with all the names and the headliners.
Yeah.
Tell me honestly, do you know any of these
I don't
names?
know any of them. Everyone is blown away by these.
Exactly.
Our guess,
Our guess is pointing at someone.
Which is why
I know Pulp.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I know Jockey.
Okay,
and
so you know the headliners.
Yeah, and I've heard of Caroline Polachek. I've heard you clearly don't spend enough time on Instagram Reels.
Yeah, that's probably it. Anyway,
I have no idea. We were doing, before we bring our guest officially, we were doing a show at Soho House a couple of days ago, and that was the same day where the Clockenflap lineup was announced, and I was just hosting and I was riffing on this. And I asked, we had the highest turnout I've ever had in Soho House. It's over 150 people, really, really big turnout. And I asked if the 150 people, if anyone knows any of the name, and I get silent.
Oh man,
nobody knows. I mean, apparently, as we're recording now, they sold out the full weekend tickets. So someone knows these people.
Well,
I don't fucking know any
That's
of them.
why we have guests on the show, because apparently we know nothing. So let's get straight to it.
Let's get straight to it. So a little bit of background about our guest. When you, Vivek, came from Melbourne Festival, came back, and we had an episode about it here. You were saying how you not only enjoyed performing and connecting with other comedians, but also you enjoyed watching the weird shows.
Yes,
you're like
I love
you're
those.
like, oh, this is. I was going for a comedy show and I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So as because you're my best friend and a close family member, I thought I'll bring one of the weird shows to you.
Let's do
in
this.
person. So I grabbed one, a live one.
Yeah.
And we brought him here so you can talk more about the weird shows.
Yeah, let's do this. Exactly. There we go. That was translation for "I'm glad to be on this podcast" by our guest.
Ben Volchok, how are you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Very good, very good. So, Ben, you came to Hong Kong to do a weird show.
I came to Hong Kong to do a weird show. This is probably my most normal of my weird shows.
I think there's a reason because like if you took your proper legit weird shows and came here, people are like too much right now. We're not there yet.
I don't think so. And there was a group in Hong Kong, like a festival, that asked me to come here. So if they would have seen something like completely,
the other spectrum,
my other shows, they probably wouldn't have asked me here. But this, and this is more of like a theater show rather than like a comedy show. So there's that element. So there's the fact that it's a different genre maybe that helps sanitize my weird material, but it's still a weird show. I
mean, I'll put it this way though: is that the problem is weird is because on paper you'd be like, I would never watch something like that. I don't know what they're doing, but until you actually watch the show, which is what I learned the most going to these festivals, is when you're there watching, like, I'm actually enjoying this.
Right.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm somehow really intrigued.
I think that really speaks to like comedy, art, anything that it's really the way that you present something, and it's the feeling behind it or the sentiment behind it or whatever that connects with people more so than maybe the content.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, put it this way, obviously the delivery is the key, but I think it's also, you must understand here in Hong Kong especially, when we talk about the proper, let's say the local Hong Kong crowd, the reason I say this is because a lot of us are only exposed to a certain amount of, let's say, artistic performances. Usually more the mainstream ones, the bigger names that come down to Hong Kong, or maybe the ones on TV. Now, usually to fall into that category, chances are you're not going to be that extreme.
There's a filter.
Yeah, there's a filter, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we know. Like, for example, me, stand-up comedy is you tell funny stories, and that's pretty much it, right? But now they're going to comedy festivals. I'm like, wait, I could laugh with that as well? You mean you can add a twist of you? You can make me feel emotional as well? I'm confused. And that's the thing where I feel the new generation, because of the internet as well, has opened up the world where we're no longer being filtered by the so-called executives at the TV stations. It's like whatever is trending online, you get to watch and go, turns out I like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's removed like so many. I mean, it maybe added different filters because the algorithms have their own secret ways of filtering stuff out. The weirder stuff out. But I think it's broadened people's horizons, and it's maybe opened up new appetites for the kind of stuff that maybe they wouldn't have gone to see before.
But what about you though? How did you get into this particular style? Were you always like that odd kid, stuff like that? Was that how the beginning?
Have you seen him?
Well, I've seen myself.
We're all, I mean, you have to be a bit weird to want to do comedy, I think.
True.
But I was always...
I feel like you have to be weird to not want to do comedy, honestly.
That's why you're weird, bro. That's why you're weird.
Like, why would you spend, 10 hours in a hospital trying to fix people? That's crazy.
Yeah, weird. Imagine trying to help humankind. Imagine.
But I can help them now by making them laugh before they die.
That's true. Yeah. They do say laughter is the best medicine.
That's true.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, that is why if ever I go to Egypt and I get sick, I'm going to prefer to fly all the way back to Hong Kong. Because Mo has set the standard for me for Egyptian care. In the
this is actually as good as the Egyptian medical system. It's like they're like, why would you come here? Just go watch TV or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Die peacefully at home.
Yeah, exactly. Here's some sand. I don't know.
This is like the Pagliacci joke. It's like a bit of a meme, but it's like, the famous Italian clown Pagliacci goes to the doctor, says, "Doctor, I'm depressed. I really, I need something to help me." And the doctor says, "Well, there's a, famous Italian clown Pagliacci who's in town. You should go see him, and he's going to make you laugh, and you're going to forget about your depression." And he said, "But doctor, I am Pagliacci." And I just realized I screwed that up because I meant to say a man goes into a doctor's office.
Oh, it's okay.
Rather than, so just added that bit. Anyway.
That's okay.
Yeah, just leave it like that.
You get the you know the twist now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like that. You go to Egypt, you'll say, I really need someone to cheer me up. And they're like, in Hong Kong, there's a really great Egyptian comedian called Mo.
Yeah.
You should go and see him. And he's like, but I am from Hong Kong.
Exactly.
He's my best friend already.
Yeah, that's the point. But that's why I'm sick. I need the help because I've been dealing with him. I can't take it, man. They're like, but we have nothing better than that. It's like, I give up now.
I am Egypt's best export at the moment. Me and the other Mo Salah, one of us is actually doing something useful with his life.
Yeah.
And it's not me.
Yeah, there you go. But Ben, let me ask you this. So you're here in Hong Kong. I'm very curious because it's not common for Hong Kong or actually Hong Kong theater or Hong Kong basically festivals or anything to go out and first of all grab talent that is maybe not quote unquote mainstream, and secondly talent that is basically willing to try and push the envelope a bit.
Yeah.
So first of all, did you feel that it was a spam message when you first got contact? You're like, these guys are full. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well, no, it was so it was at the Adelaide Fringe Festival like 3 years ago, just before the pandemic hit, and I was doing this show that I just took here. It was a end of the world show, like set after the end of the world. I was alone in a bunker doing a radio broadcast. It was like a real time play, one man show, and. It was funnily enough, before the pandemic I did it. I'm sorry if I predicted it.
Ben, what's the next year you're doing, because we know how the future's going to unfold.
So the next show I win the lottery and I have a great time.
Exactly. And what numbers did you win the lottery with? That's the key.
Those numbers are 15, 7, 45, 8, 13, and there's a little camel. They've changed in the future. They changed the system. The last one's an animal.
Ben, let me just tell you, if for some reason that really does hit, I want all our listeners to immediately subscribe to our Patreon.
You all I think that's very fair.
It's very fair.
Very fair.
$5 a month, you're already well up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And we'll let you donate a part of that to Ben as well for thanking him, giving us
donate part of it.
If I win the lottery, I probably won't need your Patreon donations.
That's actually very true.
You can keep them.
That's fine. I will take that. All right. So you're telling me end of the world.
In Adelaide. I was doing this show, and there's like all sorts of different representatives from festivals around the world who come to Adelaide Fringe and other fringes. And there's like events when you can, come and talk to them and meet them. And I was at one of them, and these people from Hong Kong came up to me and were like, hey, come and talk to us. We're from Hong Kong. I told them about their show. They came to, I think, opening night. I thought they hated the show because they like ran away. But actually, I think they just
that's how we just had to
here.
We got to
go to another show.
Yeah, the way I feel that Hong Kong is like to work is like, okay, our job right now. He finished the show. I got to tell him to come meet us one day.
Yeah.
All right. Go up to you. Hey, come meet us one day. Here's the contact. Bye. And just walk away.
Yeah, that's the Hong Kong efficiency for you.
Well, see, I didn't even get a word. They were just like, thank you, and they left. And then a week passes, and then I get an email saying I've been like long listed for this touring award.
Yeah.
And then like another week passes, and it's like I've been shortlisted, and I had to send them a video because one of them couldn't come, and luckily I just recorded a video of the show, and it was like, my God. And then finally it was like, I got this award, like touring award to come and tour the show.
And who are these people from Hong Kong?
So it's a festival. I think they've just changed their name to Hong Kong Ideation Arts Festival. It's like a small group of people. They're kind of creating a platform for particularly theatrical artists, but any artists to really as you say, push the envelope, make something a little bit out of the ordinary, and say what their unique words are. And so they give local artists a chance, and they give international artists a chance. I think they send people from Hong Kong overseas and bring people from overseas.
We should apply.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
Sure.
Hit him up, talk to him.
Dude, you just have to show up. They're like, this guy's weird enough for us.
That's right.
So I think that's the thing as well. When I went to Edinburgh this year, that was also my first time there. And I saw there were quite a few, like there were, I think 3 or 4 Hong Kong groups performing there. Yeah, some on the streets, some in the actual theater rooms and everything. And I was like, it turns out there's such a supply in Hong Kong. Because again, Hong Kong being a financial hub, it's not common that the arts is the key over here. But I think the new generation, like I said, we're getting exposed to it more. For example, my growing up, all the exposure I got to American culture was the 4 channels we had on TV.
Right.
Now it's like a matter of a click of a button, and you watch all this sort of stuff on the internet.
Totally.
I think same thing as well. The new generation is now saying, wait, I want to do this, and it's actually sustainable because you are able to connect with all these different festivals and actually make a living off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hong Kong also has like a very strong history of film. But maybe that's falls more into kind of financial.
But still, I mean, in a way. But I mean, it still had, for example, in the 80s and 90s, Hong Kong Cantopop was a big deal. People would,
it was. It was like, what is Korean pop now?
Correct. Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It was a big deal. People would actually learn Cantonese just to be able to sing the songs.
Yeah.
And they would watch. You're right. Like Leslie Cheung and all those guys, they're acting and just like, this is phenomenal. Yeah. Right. We had The Departed was also a Hong Kong movie turned into a Hollywood movie as well. Infernal Affairs. So I think. But however, what's changed, I guess, is that new generation. There was like a gap. There's always that the curve where it's doing really well and everything. Everyone's banking off of this, and after a while, like just keep selling. And then after a while, I was like, what is this trash? You know, and we
Sure.
have a whole bunch of junk that nobody really wants. And then people get frustrated. They see other people doing something and they're like, that's what I want to be doing, not this.
For sure.
Yeah. So again, coming back to this, okay, so
Yeah.
now you've been invited to Hong Kong.
Yes.
You've been told about this. Were there any requests to adjust your show by any ways?
Absolutely not.
Huh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was worried about, because the show is it's pretty wordy and it's in English.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell me anything about, changing it or adapting, making the script maybe more
Or simplifying.
it. Yeah. So I didn't do anything. I think because the show is it's pretty universal. It doesn't touch on any like real world events. It doesn't touch on any like specific things from our world. It's just like created this fictional future world where, the world has ended. We don't know how. It's just this one guy in his bunker.
Yeah.
And so there was something like quite, I think, universal about it. And it's something that I meant, something that meant I didn't have to change anything.
But let me,
You had a lot of props on the show, right?
Heaps.
Did you bring them with you?
Yeah. I brought, so I think my...
Because you have like cardboard boxes and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Most of the biggest stuff I didn't bring with me.
Yeah.
I kind of sourced here. I was telling Vivek before.
Yeah.
I had a few fun stories about that.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I mean, the stuff I did bring over, I think I had like 30 kilograms of onboard.
how many of those did you have to declare?
Nothing.
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 They just like went straight in.
We're pretty relaxed here
Well,
about.
I mean, I think it's coming back to Australia with stuff I brought back from Australia. Anyway,
Man, I would love to see customs in Hong Kong. It's like open up, like, sir, can you explain? You're like, here's a flyer.
Yeah.
After the show.
come to the show.
This happened to me in New Zealand. I took the show there last year, and I had they're pretty strict on biosecurity for obvious reasons. And one of the props or costumes that I have is like a pair of gumboots. And I another one of my props is a briefcase, like an old school, like brown, like thick briefcase.
Yeah.
And just for efficiency's sake, I put the gumboots in the briefcase,
Right.
just so I could carry them. And that was part of my like checked luggage. And when I got to the border, they were like, do you have any items that have been outside, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, I haven't, used them for hiking or anything. So I didn't declare it. And then it went through the scanner and I was like, what are these? These are gumboots. They're like dirty. They're filthy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. But they were like, what is it for? Why are they in a briefcase? I'm like, oh, it's theater props. I know it looks weird. It's theater props. And they're like, okay, we'll just wash them for you. Off you go.
Wait, do you wash them for you at the airport?
They washed them for me at the airport.
What?
This is what happens when you're white. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I'm just like, hold on a second. I've never when you were telling that story, I was like, okay,
Were you like sitting down and they're massaging you as you're watching your?
Yeah, they cut my hair. They gave me a beard.
They did not
trim.
cut your hair.
No, you're right. They didn't.
yeah.
They glued more hair onto me. They cut my beard. They gave me a coffee. I didn't drink it. They,
Yeah.
forced-
Wow.
It was the best
That's
airport
crazy.
experience.
One day. I just want one day. I want to do all the things and just be like,
Yeah, you just want to be white for a day.
Yeah.
Just
Anyway,
You
So
put
that,
in some moisture. So that was in New Zealand, but yeah, coming here is like I had a bunch of tape recorders, a bunch of like figurines and stuff, smaller things that I could dress the set with. All the larger items, there was like I had to borrow some flats to create walls of the set.
Yeah.
And we found some cardboard in a recycling bin, like corrugated cardboard, and we covered them with a corrugated cardboard to give it a little bit more of like an atmosphere. We've got some cardboard boxes, got some like furniture that they borrowed from somewhere, and then I had to have some stereos, and there was like only a couple of stereos that they could find me, and so we went to Apu Street, the like electronics flea market,
in Shamshipo,
and Shamshipo where I was staying, and a person from the venue came with me because I can't speak Cantonese, and so we were like going through every stall, being like, "Do you have any broken stereos? Do you have any?" And like,
you just want them as props.
I just want them as props. I didn't need them to work, and so like one guy, sold us a stereo. I was like, "I need more. I need all of this. Like, I need it to look huge." And so then we were looking through all the stereo shops and all the audio like equipment shops, and this one guy, we were like, "Do you have anything broken? Anything that you can give us that you don't, you can't repair, you just can like give away or sell for cheap?" And he's like, "Okay, come with me." And he takes us back through this back alley into this like rusty shed, opens it up. It's like, and it's like, "Okay, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? It's like felt like doing like
Yeah.
some kind of shady drug
Shady,
deal.
yeah,
exactly. great.
But it was just like buying broken stereos.
Yeah.
And I ended up like even haggling with a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta, I can't
Yeah,
come
you
to
can't
Hong
just-
Kong
yeah,
markets
not haggle,
and not
yeah.
haggle.
Sure.
I would feel like like an idiot.
Yeah.
And it was great. And we got like
How much did you pay for it at the end?
So I paid in the end. I think I paid for 4 stereos. I paid, I think, 530
Hong Kong.
dollars.
Oh, okay, that's
for
not
4
bad.
stereos.
That's
Yeah, that's pretty
great.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
very
was-
good.
I was so pleased. I was like, okay,
but
now,
then you just leave them at the venue.
yeah, we had to leave them at the venue.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like it was just, but in my mind, it's like I paid this money to like rent
Sure.
some props for a
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
But yeah, then everything else was like, all these little bits of junk and stuff. And I even brought like a water canister, like one of those like big water, not like a water tank, but like the
one
ones
that
with a
goes on
tap.
the dispenser.
Yeah, kind of,
Oh, yeah.
sort of. And I because it's a container,
Yeah.
they let it through as checked luggage.
That's crazy.
Which again, when I was flying to New Zealand last year, this year they didn't check it, but last year they had to like call a senior staff member to sniff
Yeah.
it to make sure there wasn't any petrol in it.
Wow.
Which was like, and this is, oh my God, it was just like, stuff everything you can into the suitcases, cheat the guy. I have this jacket with like, maybe I shouldn't be saying this because it's revealing trade secrets, but like, I have this jacket with like 10 pockets in it.
Yeah.
No one checks your jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, at customs they do, but not on like carry on.
generally, yeah.
Anyway, it was like, this is the joys of, so the next show that I did after that, it was like no props.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Has this,
done.
like, this completely changed your whole
much
mind. You're
headache.
like, you know
Yeah.
what, enough's enough.
It's like I'm bringing a laptop and like a suit, and that's it. That's my
Yeah.
that's my show.
It's just a matter of time. Hopefully, you have you have to bring a 3D printer.
Well,
It's like, bring it
exactly.
all over here. Like, I print all my props right now.
I mean, yeah, maybe in the future there'll be a 3D printer that is like in a capsule that's like water soluble.
Oh, yeah.
You pour some water on it, and
Yeah.
it turns into a 3D printer. And then
That will
Yeah.
be the thing, man. That
Yeah.
will go like whoever invents that right now. I'm investing.
totally. Well, maybe that's my next show, and it'll
Oh,
come
there you
true.
go. Yeah.
It'll come true.
Right there. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can do that in the next show, I think just me from a fascination point of view, I'm like, I have to see this now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
mean-
tell us a bit more. So, because I really want to know your journey coming here. So far, this is the
Yeah.
preparation work. Now, again, for a lot of listeners, you would assume, you bring your whole show over here. But like sometimes you have to source some things in the where you're doing the show at.
Yeah.
Some things you bring yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've gone to the Apple Street. You've
Yeah.
got that. You've done the shady kind of back of thing. You
Yeah.
walked
Back
through the
alley
puddles
stereo
and all that
deals.
stuff.
Yeah.
The guy clearly did not clean your shoes for you, so that privilege didn't happen over here.
No, he didn't.
Were you
he didn't-
disappointed? Yeah, coming to the airport and you're just holding your shoes.
Yeah.
You're like, hello?
I was like, hi, sorry, I muddied them specifically
Yeah,
for you.
exactly.
I am white and I arrived.
Yeah.
What is
Hello,
this?
knock, 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 knock.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi. Treat me like,
Like I feel I deserve.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so now the show's pretty much set then, props wise and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
you
yeah.
have that all sorted out.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So all the promotion wise, how you promote? Because for a show like yours, I feel that it may not be the typical like, oh, let's get newspapers a little here and there, but they will have some interest because they'll be like, how is this possible? What's going on? So how much press or coverage have you been getting in general?
I don't think I got that much.
Okay,
And I
okay.
think because the festival was like kind of in charge of that,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
sort of brought me over. I
Yeah.
didn't really get much. Like, I sent them a media release. I sent
enough,
them,
yeah.
some images, and
Yeah.
there were a couple of like online interviews and stuff like that. But otherwise, there wasn't a heap.
Okay,
I think
okay.
they might have put some posters up in the subway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
But-
feel like something like this, because generally from what I've noticed is that when it comes to, let's say, newspapers, let's use that example, unless you're something that they can fully understand, they'll be like, I don't know what to write, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. Same
Yeah.
with radio, it's like, because it'll take so much time to explain it, they're like, I don't know.
We've run out of time to actually talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
by the time you even get to know half of what you're doing, they're like, I
Sure.
can't tell anymore. Yeah.
And so it's at the Jockey Club, right?
Jockey Club Creative Arts Center.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's that. They just rented that as a venue,
Yeah.
or is Jockey Club involved in?
No, it's just a venue.
Just a venue provider,
Yeah,
okay.
part of what this festival does is like they find like venues and kind
Yeah.
of provide them for artists to use.
Yeah.
So they took care of all of that.
Yeah.
And it was
But it
the
has-
Black Box Theater.
But that's the thing. So, like, when you travel, clearly every room you have a specific requirement of each room, and you have to accommodate based on. Like, unlike say stand-up comedy, is like, all right, give me a spot, give me a mic, I'm pretty much set, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, the walls are red and this one's yellow. I can still live with that, right?
Yeah.
But for you, clearly, a black box is ideal.
Yeah.
Because it's like a blank canvas for
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I've performed the show in like, I think when I took it to Adelaide, the venue that they gave me was like an old like converted office room, and so with the those like panel ceilings that
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
push
the full
through,
ceilings, yeah.
which actually came in handy because I had to like rig a cable to plug in a lamp. There's like a lamp shade and a light bulb in front on top of the stage, and so I had to rig all of that. And you know, it's I don't know, it's just anything you kind of turn into this atmosphere. I think it. Yeah,
because I'm just curious with your type of performance, because for me, I've seen it at best. I've never come this up close, like to get to know the behind the scenes. Exactly, right. But I mean, I'm just curious because wherever you travel, I'm sure a lot of places will have some friction or pushback of like, I don't know if this works. So how much has it been where you've reached out or versus people scouting you? I'm sure in the beginning you'd have to be knocking on a few more doors than nowadays people contacting you directly, right?
I mean, I think it's still like predominantly me booking my own shows. This was like the first time that
someone contacted you.
Someone externally was like, "Hey, you should come do this show here."
Oh, okay.
Everywhere else, I've sort of had to be like, you know, can I do the show here? Can I, you know, putting in applications, and particularly when it's like part of festivals when you sort of need to do it yourself anyway.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's kind of been most of my experience.
So, okay, put it this way then. Where are the places that you're hoping to perform, regardless of whether or not you think it's possible?
Yeah.
Are there any specific places, like, because like, let's say you know a bit about the culture, like, oh, these people are weird, I like this. You know, would there be that?
I think the UK, a lot of people have said that this show would translate pretty well there. And a lot of my influences come from there anyway. So I think there's a lot of that humor that's kind of directly in there. I'd really want to go to New York.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. But really anywhere, I think the show is pretty universal. And I think...
Because I think
a lot of people can understand even if they don't maybe necessarily understand every word of it, or they don't understand kind of, you know, what it's like. I think particularly because it's theater and particularly because it's thematically relevant, I think they get the sense of it and they get the feeling of it. And I think that translates anywhere.
All right, so this is my Hong Kong business mindset thinking right now. Okay, so
I love that because I don't have a business mind.
So first things first, what you need to do on the last show, you need to add a segment at the end to have a bidding of all the stuff you're not taking back, like merchandise.
Yeah,
you know, clearing it off like
that would be great because there was like no time and they booked a van to take all of the stuff away. And I was like, wait, surely someone wants this. Next time, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's one
sell
idea.
Old stereos.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of onions in the show. I was gonna maybe sell it. Yeah. So in the world of this show, onions are the only food that is remained.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the
So
whole
you
world.
buy fresh onions.
I bought fresh onions. Yeah, from
And
some
it's like
wet markets.
it's like cut up. I hope not. That would smell.
Well.
It will be, I guess.
It is at one point in the show.
Do you throw it at the audience?
I blend some onion and I drink it.
So what?
You do actually.
Yeah.
Every show.
Every show, I cut up a little bit of onion, pour a little bit of water into a blender, blend it, and drink it.
Okay.
I don't interact with the audience at all.
That's good because like that clearly will make me go, oh, I cannot believe I'm watching this. This
Great.
is happening right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the onion. That's
So you need
good.
a blender too. That's part of one of your
I
props.
brought that with me.
Do you bring one of these like smoothie blenders, like the one
Like a really tiny one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I bet you think like you're gonna go to the place, your show's about to start, you're like, I forgot the adapter.
Yeah.
Hey, the plug.
I had to buy so many different adapters because
Right?
I brought all of my equipment from Australia, and so it was
No
like,
one ever remembers their adapter.
I know.
Yeah.
It was. I brought like one for my hotel room, but
But still, I mean, how many can you pull out of that, right?
I'm sure you don't want to give away too much of the show, but what is the just tell me the onions blending drinking part.
the onion blend. So there's a bit in the. So it's a radio show, right? You know, and I'm like, here's the news. Here's we're getting some messages, some calls, whatever. And it's like, okay, now while I'm going to let you listen to a song, and while you listen to a song, I'm going to make myself my dinner, which is a banana milkshake. But we don't have any bananas, so I'm going to use an onion, and we don't have any milk, so I'm going to use water.
Right.
And so I put on the song is playing, and then I get out a blender, get on an onion, I chop a little bit off, put the rest away as meal prep.
Yeah.
And then put the onion in the blender, put the water in, and I drink it. And then the song ends.
I think I would enjoy watching the process more than you actually drinking. I'd be like, I cannot believe it. No way. No, he's not really.
Yeah.
And then every time there's such a reaction when I drink it. It's like,
they're like,
it's so visceral. I love it. It's
because just the thought of it, you're like, I cannot even imagine what it's like. I forget even like doing it. It's like, even imagining, I'm like, this is impossible.
Going into the creative process a little bit because you say it's very wordy, so you're pretty much talking for an hour,
pretty
as
much.
opposed to like an hour of stand-up where you can, for example, if you forget the next thing, you can make fun of yourself for forgetting. You can do crowd work. We all have a lot of tricks, right?
Yeah.
But for you, I have never seen a one-man show that is just one man talking for an hour.
Yeah.
That is not stand-up, actually.
Yeah, right,
So I've never seen a show of this kind. And I have a memory problem in general. Anything above 40 minutes for me becomes a problem in the order.
Okay.
Like, I know what I'm talking about, but like sometimes I'm like, fuck, I don't know the next thing. So just go with whatever I remember, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you remember an hour of... Because you're obviously acting as well a little bit.
Yeah.
Playing with props or whatever.
I wrote the show, which helped because
Sure.
while I was writing it, obviously it was in my mind. And so, coming back to it, I've also done, this is probably, I think the 4th or 5th time I've done the show. So it's kind of in there already. I don't know, I just repeating the words a lot and going over them a lot. I just kind of walk around the house just muttering to myself a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Even when I'm walking, like going for a walk, I go for a walk for an hour and I'm like running the show in my head.
At what point did you, like, for example, did you end up having to cut certain lines because, like, man, I write that great, 'cause I don't talk that great?
Yeah. I mean, there was the first draft was like maybe, it wasn't 2 hours long, but it was like, an hour and a half or something, hour 40. It needs to be an hour. I worked with my friend who also directed the show, Sandy, and we worked together to kind of like really chop, cut, distill it to its essence and to its core. There was a lot of stuff that was irrelevant or stuff that I put in that I thought was really funny, but that didn't make any sense or whatever. And initially as well, there was a lot of stuff to do with the real world. There was a lot of stuff to talking about politics, talking about, because it's about the end of the world, right? I'm obviously going to talk a little bit about climate change or politics or whatever. And in the end, we got rid of all of that because we're like, this isn't about that. This is about his reaction to it. This is about what he feels at the end of the world. And so all of that went, all of the like irrelevant bits that were like kind of just gags.
Yeah.
Most of that went. I think we still kept a few because you gotta have a little bit.
Yeah, the easy ones here and there, just to, like, lighten the mood.
Yeah, and then also, funnily enough, also making sure to add moments of silence and moments of stillness. So that's because he's talking for an hour, it's those moments when he stops. You're like, oh shit, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
And so. Thankfully, the format of a radio show meant that every time I put on a song, that was your moment of stillness.
Sure.
Nice. I mean, so you wrote the stuff, edited, the usual thing, right? But did you have a point where you were like, oh, I had to make this financially viable? Because
No.
Because I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. Because again, with stand-up, it's simple. It's like I just bring myself and I show up and fine, whatever, right?
Yeah.
With you got to accommodate so many things. For example, can I even take the stuff over? Is this like limited to one place?
Yeah.
Forget the content translating. With the objects translated as well, can I take it over? And one more thing as well is that have you ever been tempted to basically commercialize, or in other words, add this thing in because that will definitely get some heads turning, right? Because I think that's the one thing with a comedian is that you have, stand-up is that you have the option of, I'm going to say this stuff because that's the hot topic now and they'll love it, versus like the integrity of like, but that's just me banking on something just silly, right? That any other comedian is going to do, like doing the Trump kind of deal is like, that's the hot thing for everybody.
Sure.
So same with you. Have you had that point where you're putting it all together, you're thinking of this prop, and maybe you're back in your head like, I could totally write this off as business expense. I need to buy a printer for the show that I don't really use, but I can keep it as, have you ever all that?
I haven't done like the reverse of it. Like anything I do is a business expense,
Yeah.
But I don't think I've specifically like put something in the show specifically to use it as a business expense.
Yeah.
I think the like financially viable stuff. I'm flying on a plane anyway. You know, I may as well cram my 30 kilogram suitcase, full of props. You know, it's usually negligible costs. I think this time around, because of the kind of transport of the furniture and stuff, there was a bit more than I had anticipated. But usually it's like you can find something around, you can, hire a trailer or something. It's usually pretty minimal costs, funnily enough.
This is so funny to me because this is like the ultimate like artist versus Hong Kong mentality.
Oh yeah, full on.
It's full
like,
on. My back is like, okay, so how do you expense all of that? And how do you make sure you make the maximum? And you're like, I just want to do the art.
I just want to do my show. But like, it's funny because I feel like I've almost like met in the middle somewhere with this show where it's like I I have this like really elaborate set and whatever, but I still come and I try to get everything for free or get everything off like Marketplace or, you know, borrow stuff around.
Fair.
So I still try to minimize cost. And I think on your question of like, do I try to do anything topical? I think not for this show because I think this show, again, like it's pretty universal and it's pretty timely because I think people are always kind of a bit scared about what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, it's always a little bit topical. And so I don't have to put in, you know, references to the American election, or I don't have to, or like, you know, anything else for people to understand it.
Because I keep thinking, I know, like it's a theater show. It's like the fixed. This is the show, right? I mean,
exactly.
Because I keep thinking, like, you know, with stand up, whenever they go to a new city, like, let me do that one
What's
bit
the
about
localized?
I went to visit this.
Wow, they're sure wacky in this neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
I should ask you both about some in Melbourne next time we meet. Ben, I'll be there.
You'll be in Melbourne.
So tell me, before you tell me like maybe tips that I can actually think of.
Okay.
What are like, you know, things that like visiting comedians say and you guys immediately start rolling your eyes because they think, because I lived in Shanghai, for example, I run shows here and I used to run shows in Shanghai, and in Shanghai, like here's a more relatable thing because obviously it's a lot of uphill stuff, so there's a lot of visiting comedians who come. We were talking about it before recording. You went up. You're not making jokes. You're just saying that it's very uphill.
It's my experience.
Yeah. So we would get the visiting comedian who thinks he's a genius by saying, "What are you guys hiking all the time?" And then he thinks like you're gonna get like an applause break. And I was like, "We live here."
You're teaching me nothing.
Yeah. You're like, "Oh, well, you need hiking boots all the time." It's like, "Wow, you're a fucking genius." So do you have the equivalent of that in Melbourne?
Yeah, there's plenty. There's one suburb. It's kind of like a little bit further south called Frankston.
Okay.
A lot of people make fun of it for being like a little bit of a poor area.
Right.
You know, quite a few drug addicts and, you know, crime on the street, whatever. So a lot of people, everyone who comes is like, "Oh wow, I went there. I don't want to go there again."
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
it's like, yeah, okay. We know that I probably have a cousin who lives there, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Thanks
and then
for the warning,
there's like, you know, the inner city kind of hipster neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know, there's like Brunswick and Fitzroy and stuff, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I paid $20 for a coffee. What is up with that?" And it's like, yeah, I know the rent's high.
I love that when the answer is like super simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It totally makes sense.
I know, it's like
Economically, that's what
it's fine. I know they hike up the prices, whatever. It's like, just don't go there. Just walk around. Okay, people are trendy. You know, let people have some fashion sense. Okay.
Right. Another one here is like comics also think like they're also blown away by the escalator in the middle of the city, which is objectively kind of cool to see because I think Hong Kong is the only city in the world.
It's the longest connecting escalator in one place.
Yeah. And also it's in the middle of the city.
That's
It's not
actually
like
what I'm
mall.
doing right after this. I'm going to go to the escalators.
Oh, yes.
And I'll come back with a really great joke about it.
Yeah, but there's like, what is this? A shopping mall? The whole city? You have an escalator and a travelator. It's like, all right.
Make up your mind. Are they steps or is it a travelator?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So there's so many things like that.
What
It's
else
like,
in Melbourne?
in Melbourne, I mean, you know, there's like 4 train stations in the city.
Okay.
And that's it. There's
I'll
not
meet
many.
you at the train station. Which one?
Yeah.
I mean,
Those.
the Flinders Street clocks. I don't know. There's like the Yarra is brown. The main river that goes through the center of the city.
Yeah.
It's brown.
Yeah.
And everyone's
That's
like,
gross.
wow, it's good. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
gross. It's like that's just the color of the dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
I mean,
a brown river.
It's not really. It doesn't look. I mean, I don't remember looking at it.
Or it's like, oh, there's nothing to do in Melbourne. It's like, yeah, I know we don't have a harbour bridge. You know, we don't have an opera house, but we can stay out past 9 p.m.
I mean, let me ask you this.
So you're now comparing like doing
to
the Sydney Melbourne thing.
Sydney Melbourne thing. It's like
Right.
people. I think weirdly enough, the Sydney Melbourne thing, people still have a little bit of sympathy for. They're like, oh yeah, we are better than Sydney.
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll give you that one. It's like the jokes about all these different like hipster neighborhoods. That's a little bit old. But if you're saying that we're better than Sydney, okay, we'll take it. Okay, all right, we'll take it. That's fine.
I mean, was the inspiration for this show about the end of the world? After seeing humanity talk about these lame observations, you're like, at this point, just let it end now. If you say the Yarra River is brown anymore, wait, let's cut this.
Yeah.
I'm inspired to
it
end
may as
humanity.
well. I've imagined a future where actually everyone dies.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the inspiration for the show. I know that the question was a joke, but I'm going to take it as a serious question. I think it was just like me feeling a little bit anxious and alienated about, environmental issues and political issues and stuff, and kind of feeling a little bit helpless and alone.
Yeah.
Can't really do anything to change it. And also just, feeling like it meant that you were really away from, your fellow people. And so, somewhere in the midst of that, I came up with this show where I was the only person left.
So when you're doing the show, the character, does he know that he's the only one left?
Well, that's part of what kind of unfolds during the show. So I won't say too much about it. But he, generally is kind of...
He feels alone.
He feels alone.
Well, Mo, if you do want to find out, it's real simple.
Yeah.
You can find out on either the 15th or the 16th.
September.
September.
Just
yeah.
passed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But keep an eye out. Like I was telling Mo this before, like in kind of calendar years, the show's pretty old because it's like been 4 years since I first did it. But in COVID time, in COVID timelines, it's like it's still a baby show.
So, like, if I were you, right, when I did the show, let's say before COVID, and COVID hits, were you thinking like, this would be perfect for now?
Well, kind of. I mean, I think it like I was shocked. I was like, how did this happen? How did this turn out? But I think all it's done is it's just kind of meant that people are a little bit more aware of what it means to be isolated. People, that feeling of loneliness and kind of the need for connection in particular. I think it's just underscored it for a lot of people. More so than perhaps the people have always been lonely. People have always needed kind of a community. But I think now what we've lived through in the past 3 years.
So then would you say that your show in a way would be targeting the people who actually do face that, where they're trying to better know, like, okay, I'm not trying to be too deep about this, where I'm like, I'm trying to discover yourself.
I welcome that.
I mean, look, I put it
I've come from the art world.
There you go. Yeah, I can see inside yourself.
This is what we're all about.
Like when you write, like, for example, people ask me like, what's your dream audience, right? That you hope to come and enjoy your show. For me, it's that person who just like kind of feels life is just bland and boring. I cannot find anything funny in my life. I just come, and hopefully with the comedy show, you'd be like, that's a very good point. Never thought about that life. That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah. Like, would you have a target audience? You're hoping like that type of audience would be my audience. Do you want the one that's coming in with that open mind of like, yes, turn me on? Do you want that? Or the one who's seen all sorts of art, they want to be blown away with something so different? Do you want to have the people who are kind of emotionally, more sensitive, where they're like, okay, let me put it this way. Would you prefer to have the audience who's also maybe searching for themselves? What is their meaning of life and everything? The one who are coming here for kind of their own answers, watching the show. Okay, end of the world. I'm thinking that too. So tell me, what's your take? Or would you want the audience who's like, entertain me? I just want to have fun. Which one? The more serious one, or the more like whatever goes?
All of the above.
I'll take whoever's buying a ticket.
I'll take whoever's gonna sit down. No, but I think the people who are like, something resonates, on a kind of soul level with them. That's absolutely who I'm kind of, reaching out to, because these people are kind of reaching out themselves, and it's like, I'm going to meet you halfway with this show. But then also, I think the show is for people who, just want to kind of see something a bit different, or maybe think the concept is cool, and then through watching the show, they'll maybe start thinking a little bit deeper about all of these issues and these thoughts and feelings.
But how do you, this might sound like an outsider question, because all the art that I've done was stand-up, which was immediate feedback.
Right.
And you kind of know, obviously, you have done stand-up as well.
That's
and you kind of know
most shows
when things are hitting or not hitting or whatever.
Yeah.
But for you, especially when you're doing a theater show where no interaction with the audience, and sure, there are laugh points or whatever, but for the most part, you have no idea what they're thinking.
Totally.
And so maybe they're looking at their phone, maybe they're like thinking of dinner or whatever. Like, how do you even know if what you are trying to convey is landing?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, like the points when there's like big jokes and people laugh, I know it's landing.
Sure.
The point where I drink an onion and people groan,
for sure.
I know it's landing. The kind of audible reactions. But I think this is one of the things that I've had to really come to terms with in the kind of theater world, is that even if people aren't audibly or like visibly, reacting to something, they're still absorbing it. And there's a palpable level, particularly if you're acting and you're like really kind of on in an acting sense, you sense this energy of like, oh no, this is unfolding, this is happening. And then people are still absorbing, they're still taking it all in. And you kind of have to trust that, which is really scary. You kind of have to sit back and start at point A, an hour later you're at point B, and then you sort of just have to wait and hope that they applaud.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it is really scary. But I think most of the time, you will get people who are like still taking it in. You know. Yeah. I imagine it's even harder for like a person who's made a film to send it out into the world.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's like,
That's
what
it.
are they? How
Yeah.
they're going to receive it?
Yeah.
How they're going to
Yeah.
take it in. But it's really, it was a huge challenge for me because everything I've done up to this point was like, hey, I can look at you. I can, if you don't laugh as much, I can sort of correct it a little bit and get a bigger laugh or something. If something happens, I can point to it and be like, that just happened. Let's all.
Yeah. Someone drops a bottle. You're like, hey, we'll do. Yeah, you can do
Exactly.
that.
I won't do that. But
I find
You
it
know.
funny or a funny idea if you're doing like a show. I'm sure you have like a closer of sorts, some sort of
Right,
resolution,
right.
some sort of like you're letting the audience know the show's over, and I find it really funny if the audience just like start getting up and leaving and just and like start moving the chairs so
Yeah, yeah,
slowly.
yeah.
It's like there is no like they're like, oh okay, show's over, no applause, nothing. You're just like okay, and then you just hear chairs moving,
Yeah.
and then bottles collected and stuff. You're like,
what the hell is going on? Yeah, someone in the middle of the show goes, hey, sorry, I have to go to the toilet. And just moves.
You just hear them talking. That's a good job.
Takes a phone call. I was like,
you're
comes in
just
halfway
standing
through
there.
drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I've just done this really emotional scene. Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any of these like people like maybe not interrupting or heckling, but more like something because again you're just doing a one-man solo.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be disconnected. You might as well be on a screen, right?
Exactly.
But then people are doing their own thing. Did you have anything like that?
Not for this show. There's been previous shows where there's been pretty terrible audience interaction. I think
what?
I was doing so the show before this. Weirdly enough, still kind of radio themed as well. It was like me doing a couple of radio plays, and I did all the character voices and stuff live on stage. And there was one show where there's like a big group booking. I don't know what they were thinking, what they were expecting. They came in and like maybe 10 minutes into the show, one guy like just stands up, is like, I'm out, and just leaves.
I know.
Yeah, and then the others like slowly over the course of the next half hour just slowly trickle out, and then the remaining ones who were there just sit there on their phones.
Shit.
It's like there's people in the audience genuinely enjoying this.
Right.
What
But
am
the rest of this group was just like checked out.
awful.
Yeah.
So that was really
It's probably I'm trying to guess what it could be. And maybe it's like this bachelor party, and then they like
Sure.
misread the title or went to the wrong room.
Yeah.
Wrong venue. Like,
Look-
we're here anyway.
They could be, but this is the thing. It's like they booked the show. They were like one of the first bookings I got for that season.
What was the name of the show?
With the ending.
The name of your
The
show.
name of the show. It was called Ben Volchok Presents.
There you go,
Yeah, it wasn't like a beer drinking fun hour.
I bet you.
Right.
Like, for all you know, they probably have Ben Volchok presents.
Yeah.
Let's go check that
Ben
show out.
Volchok
Yeah.
has present. I mean, some friends of mine have they're like a comedy duo. They deliberately called themselves Late Night Party Boys, and then they do the like completely like demented, absurd, surreal,
That's great.
late night like
Love it.
nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's great because they also like they get a lot of this kind of crowd
Yeah,
in,
random crowd.
But then
Yeah.
their aim is to kind of like subvert these people's expectations, and a lot of people end up really liking it. But yeah, for this show, I think people know. I think because it's more of a theater show as well, people have a little bit more of an expectation. It's like, okay, we can. I kind of know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing I experienced with the show was when I was in Adelaide. There was another show programmed in the room next to me at the same time. We were the only two shows in this like building.
Sure.
And I'm not sure why, but the theater programmed my show and this other guy, Will Tredinick, his show at the same time, like within 15 minutes of each other. And it was like, I'm meant to be the last person in the world. There's meant to be nobody.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the show, this is, maybe, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through the show, there's a really like quiet moment.
Yeah.
There's like a very emotional, tender, soft, quiet moment. And it's at the exact point where in the other show, there's a big tango number, big like murder, and he's like yelling and dancing and screaming.
Yeah.
And then likewise in his show, there's this moment where it kind of drops off and everyone's kind of staring at stuff. And then I have like a full on like mental breakdown.
Right.
As
So
part
you're, like,
of the show.
screaming.
So I'm
Yeah.
yelling, like
Yeah.
throwing a chair, like just the music's blaring. And it's like we just both were
Doesn't
like,
make sense, yeah.
what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, you know, we lived through it, and now we have a funny bond.
One last question: is the look that you have is part of like is it essential to a show? Like you, for people who don't know, like you have a very long beard, you have a very long hair.
Yeah,
I understand that could be your style as well. But is that essential for the show? Like someone who's like left at the end of the word?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I generally
so
in my a little bit. Like I haven't cut my fingernails for ages as part of it as well. I usually my beard isn't this long. You know, my hair I kind of leave like this, but my beard isn't usually this long. You know, I trim my fingernails. It's definitely every time I do the show, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna shave or cut my beard for like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, more or less, I think the character that I wrote is a bit of an extension of me, or a reinterpretation of certain parts of me, and so it kind of naturally is like, okay, what happens if I let myself go a bit?
Yeah. So when do you have any schedule? Like when is the show scheduled to? When are you doing it next?
Well, this show, TBA, I'm still kind of working that out. I'm trying to find some venues and stuff. But I do a monthly show in Melbourne called The Ceremony. That's also I would say in the weird camp. This one is definitely there's lots of interacting with the audience. In fact, it's entirely made up differently every time.
Oh, fun!
So the audience comes in and I ask them to like write a few things about their lives and then put it in a bucket and then we like create a ceremony together.
And it's just you and
it's
the audience.
just me and the audience and no props, maybe one prop. And yeah, that happens every month in Melbourne. So the last Wednesday of the month. But
okay, well, there you go. I mean, we definitely will check it out.
Yeah, I will. And we have a bunch of listeners in Melbourne as well.
Oh, great.
And Andy, who's the original host of the podcast with Vivek,
he
lives in Melbourne.
Oh, amazing! Hi, Andy.
So Ben, thank you so much. We'll have you on the Patreon as well. Subscribe to the Patreon, $5 a month, when we will do a deep dive or with Ben on one of the subjects that we talked about on the free episode here. Ben, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
How do people follow everything you're doing? They want to know, they want to stalk you. What do they do if you want to like know everything about you?
I'm on most of the social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think I got Threads.
Yeah.
I deleted TikTok because it was messing with my head. But
don't worry, Hong Kong has no TikTok.
That's right. Hong Kong has no TikTok. I remember that.
And Hong Kong deleted TikTok.
Hong Kong deleted TikTok. Honestly, probably for the best.
Yeah.
Because it was messing with our head.
Yeah. I mean, Instagram Reels is kind of taking. Anyway, I have a website as well, benvolchok.com. You can see all of the.
Yeah, we'll put everything in the description of the episode. Ben, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.